Going into the season, the Minnesota Vikings are walking a fine line with their quarterback situation. While they are comfortable enough with their current options that they are not aggressively pursuing Aaron Rodgers at this moment, they are not entirely ruling out the possibility of adding the four-time MVP should circumstances change. That delicate balance underscores their belief in J.J. McCarthy, whom they have positioned as their starting quarterback for the upcoming campaign. The plan is clear. McCarthy is expected to take the reins under center in Minnesota. However, the looming uncertainty surrounding Rodgers' next destination, most notably the possibility of him landing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, keeps the door slightly ajar for a shift in strategy should Rodgers remain available. Right now, though, the Vikings' focus is squarely on McCarthy, who will have the opportunity to prove himself as the leader of the franchise. Shifting to Green Bay, where head coach Matt LaFleur took the podium to address the reality of expectations on Jordan Love's shoulders, making it clear that wins and losses do not rest solely on the quarterback. In his words, success in the NFL is a collective effort, one that extends beyond the man under center to include all 11 players on the field, the coaching staff, and even the trainers working behind the scenes. But despite LaFleur's attempt to distribute responsibility, the harsh reality remains. Quarterbacks in this league are judged by their ability to win games. That is both the blessing and the curse of the position. For Love, the next step in his development is about proving he can deliver in the biggest moments. Rewind to 2 seasons ago, when the Packers made a late-season surge into the playoffs and came within striking distance of upsetting the San Francisco 49ers. Love was playing at an elite level. However, last year's shift toward a more Josh Jacobs-centric offensive approach came with growing pains. The Packers dropped 4 divisional games, twice to the Vikings and twice to the Lions, before being eliminated by the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs, a game in which Love was outperformed by Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' offensive firepower. If Love is to ascend into the NFL's upper echelon of quarterbacks, he must bring consistency to the biggest stage and prove he can win the games that matter most. The conversation then turns to Detroit, where the expectations surrounding Jared Goff continue to evolve. Head coach Dan Campbell spoke candidly about Goff's growth, praising his quarterback for not only executing what was asked of him last season, but also for taking ownership of the offense, bringing new ideas to the table, and showing a deeper understanding of the game. That evolution is expected to continue this season, but there is one significant variable in play. Ben Johnson is no longer in Detroit, having taken a head coaching job with the Chicago Bears. Johnson's absence raises questions about how Goff will adapt without the coordinator who played such a pivotal role in his resurgence. Goff's ability to take the next step will depend on how well he absorbs everything Johnson taught him and applies it independently. The challenge will be for Goff to assert himself as a true leader of the offense, dictating the game plan in real time and ensuring Detroit's high-powered attack does not skip a beat. Meanwhile, in Chicago, where Johnson now resides, all eyes are on Caleb Williams and how his development will be shaped in his second NFL season. Johnson acknowledged that Williams has spent most of his career operating almost exclusively from the shotgun formation, both in high school and college. The plan now is to explore his comfort level under center and determine how much of that element can be integrated into Chicago's offensive system. Johnson's track record in Detroit shows that playing under center was a key component of his scheme. 50% of the Lions' offensive snaps last season came from under center, the highest rate in the NFL. Williams, however, is largely untested in that setting. Across 3 seasons in college, he ran just 8 plays from under center, an almost negligible percentage of his total dropbacks. When he did, though, the results were stellar, for touchdowns and a near-perfect 98 QBR. That early sample size is promising, but his experience last season as a rookie was the complete opposite. His 25 QBR from under center ranked dead last in the NFL. The transition will be a work in progress, but Johnson's willingness to commit to the run game and utilize play action should ultimately make Williams' job easier. The key will be whether Williams can master his reads, go through his progressions quickly, and make the right decisions under pressure. Johnson's system is built to take the burden off the quarterback's shoulders by creating a balanced attack, but Williams' ability to elevate beyond the playbook when necessary will be the true measure of his growth. That brings us to a developing story from the NFL League meetings, where Commissioner Roger Goodell addressed the ongoing debate over the controversial tush-push play. While no immediate rule change has been made, Goodell's comment suggests that the league is leaning toward a ban, with discussions set to continue until the next round of meetings in May. Goodell acknowledged that there is currently no definitive injury data linked to the play, but he emphasized that the league's focus extends beyond just data. It is also about proactively assessing potential risks before they become a larger issue. One possibility being considered is a return to the pre-2004 rule, which prohibited pushing a ball carrier forward, effectively outlawing the tush push in its current form. Reading between the lines, Goodell's remarks indicate that there is significant momentum toward eliminating the play. While the league may not have had enough support to push through a ban immediately, it seems increasingly likely that by the time the 2025 season kicks off, the tush push will be a relic of the past. And if that is indeed the case, it is time for the Philadelphia Eagles and Buffalo Bills to brace for change. These two teams have weaponized the quarterback sneak in a way no one else has, running it more successfully and more frequently than the rest of the league combined. Now, with the rulebook potentially reverting to a previous era, their strategic advantage could be wiped away in an instant. The play's impending demise has sparked a wave of reactions, with some arguing that the league's decision is rooted in aesthetics rather than safety. After all, the tush push is not a flashy, highlight reel play, but an effective one. Others believe the rule change is inevitable simply because the league does not want a single play become so automatic that it removes an element of competitive uncertainty from the game. Regardless of the reasoning, one thing is clear. The days of the tush push appear to be numbered, and when the next league meetings roll around in May, the NFL may officially close the book on one of the most polarizing plays in modern football.